All right, what is up, everyone? So happy to have you back for another crazy episode of the Comics Lounge. This time, we're going to be talking all about if comic book movies stop doing this one thing, they could be successful again. And it's crazy because one of the biggest things that they've been doing lately is going and changing characters, but not just changing characters, changing complete ideas of what we have about these characters. And one of the biggest ones that I want to talk about right off the bat is Madam Web. No, I don't want to talk about Silver Surfer first. That will be later in the show once Spire's Lair comes on. But real quick, just to monologue, I want to talk about Madam Web. Madam Web does not need her own movie. It's that simple. She doesn't need a movie for a lot of reasons. One, she is not a big enough character to put her into her own movie by itself without anything else surrounding it. And yes, obviously, you've had all of these crazy, crazy, crazy things going on in the Marvel multiverse, the Sony multiverse, and everything in between. But to take Madam Web, make her young, and give her powers that we're assuming are not mutant because this is not the Marvel universe. Sony does not own the rights to the mutants. Marvel does. And I don't know how if they're playing that nicely with each other. So to make all of that happen, you're going to have to change up Madam Web significantly. Madam Web has to be a character that is a side character. She's like the side quest of a video game. You're never gonna want to play the Madam Web video game, but you're gonna play the hell out of the Spider-Man video game that features Madam Web in it because it starts going after the multiverse. And with that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but honestly, I'm not gonna be as invested in this because I really don't think that we truly need a movie solely about Madam Web. Madam Web is one of those characters that she's always played a taken a backseat role. She's always shown up in different comics that are all Spider-Man based, and she's never gotten her own comic before. I actually looked it up last week when we were talking about this. Between when she came out in 1980 all the way up to 2000, actually it might even been 2010. So 20 to 30 years, she had been in just about 30 comics, and not even as a mainstream character, not even as a named character. She sat back and watched everything go on. So, like that's where I want to start this off with. How's it
Hey,
going?
what's up? Hey, what's up? Chilling.
So I was just
Oh
talking about the
man,
Madam Web movie and how Madam Web does not need her own movie.
like you were saying, and everything you were saying is true about 20 plus appearances in different comics. The only thing that I can honestly say that she was essentially was the first appearance. Couple of cameos, and honestly, what I really liked her in was in the video game Shattered Dimensions, which is like the reason why we have the freaking the Spider Verse. A lot of people don't know that. That's the origins of it, and that all has to do with Madam Web. I like the cartoon, even when it came out back in the day. I was watching it heavy back then, but when I looked at this, like, oh my god! Look, I'll be honest. This would have been a great show, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Whoever the hell's running, whatever y'all running over there in Marvel, you can't do a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. This is just like
Yeah.
common sense. I don't care what you know about comics or what you don't know. You can't do a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. Period. So the problem right there is, I love the article. I saw one and I was gonna bring it up, but I forgot. I saw one in Entertainment Weekly. It said, "Move over, Spider-Man." I died laughing the minute I read it. I was like, "Yeah, move over, Spider-Man. Here comes the new yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, listen, this is gonna when I saw the trailer, it gave me nothing but the CW vibes, and I was like, this would be a good show. I mean, it would be a real good like show. Like if we were doing like, I guess, a Disney Plus series, the Spider People, that would be a good show. But first of all, let's talk about Cassandra Webb being like, what the hell? Like, did you see what the original Madam Web, how old she is? And I know they kind of tie her grandmother into this, but she's not Madam Web. That's the point.
Yeah.
So the grandmother of Cassandra Webb, that should have been the rightful age to be Madam Web, is not Madam Web. But hey, let's see. I guess we're going to the CW now for Marvel.
And
I'm actually looking forward to this because everything that these guys are going to do from this point on is going to fail in such a horrific, spectacular way. It's not even funny. And it comes down to this. Stop
yeah.
going against the audience. Stop trying to replace legacy characters. This is a legacy character. I'm sorry, but I'm speaking for all my Spider-Verse people, all my Spider-Verse fans, and y'all know what time it is. When we say that it's about legacy, we mean it. And we don't care about the new stuff. It's all good, I don't mind, like, the Miles Moraleses and, even all of these spider entities. They got, like, about 700. There's more freaking spider people now than there are Pokemon. But there's only one Peter Parker.
And there's a shit ton of Pokemon.
And yeah, exactly. You got one Pikachu, and the rest are all Pokemon. That's what it comes down to. You're trying to replace Pikachu with Bulbasaur. Listen, it doesn't work. Okay, you gotta stick to the formula. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Oh, and it comes out on Valentine's Day. So Marvel. Oh man, trust me. I'm either gonna be an executive in Marvel or I'm gonna own that damn company one day. I'm telling you, that is my goal. I'm telling you, I'm going to own this damn place. Watch. You'll see, Crystal. You'll be working. You're going to be my, I'm going to put you as the lead propagandist of Marvel Entertainment. That means whoever's woke is gone. If you show up with any kind of woke ideology, I don't care who you sleep with on your own time. I don't need to hear about it every day when I'm working. I just don't care. Don't care. But I think that for all the heteros out there, you should be doing the same thing. Go out there and show your hetero pride. Let's make a hetero flag. I mean, I have some ideas for a hetero flag.
Yeah.
Like, we could put, like, a gun on one side, beer in the middle, and just, like, an eagle on the other side. Like, make it, like, a real, like an obnoxious flag. We're going to take all the masculine stuff. Just you guys took all the colors. We got to take all the masculine stuff. So, yeah, that's just me talking off the top of my head. But this Madam Web thing, like, yeah, it gave me nothing but the CW vibes. So, in case you people don't know about the CW, they have never turned a profit, like, ever. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was into the Arrowverse for a minute, and I liked it a lot. But
Arrowverse
I just
was
knew,
amazing.
like, it was just one of those things that I knew, like, it had its run, and it had its time, and it was good. But I just always felt like, hey, I wonder if this thing actually made money. And apparently it didn't. I mean,
the first 5 years shocked me because the Arrowverse was absolutely beautiful. The way that they brought Constantine into the Arrowverse for a couple episodes
I like
made
that.
it seem like they were going to revitalize that because that was one of their best properties. Yes. And I mean, when you brought up the fact that they made nothing, even in the first few years, that they never turned a profit over those first few years, it's like, how did they keep greenlighting this?
And this...
And
that's why. I
mean, like, if anything,
it was,
obviously you have to, but
I mean, I'm
as
telling
a business
you, like,
model,
it was coming down. It was coming down like when I was looking at the actual sheets. I mean, the expenditure reports. I mean, they were not only. It's worse than not only making money. They were losing about $1 million a month in budget and everything. $1 million a month. I mean, this is why WWE got sold off in the way that it did, because this is and this whole phenomenon that we see in movies now, it's kind of been going on for years. It's just now permeating into more of the culture, especially with the movies. But I noticed that every time this experiment has started, it always winds up in miserable failure. And I just know why. It's real simple. You guys are trying to go after an audience that doesn't want you guys. Marvel's is a perfect example. Because if any girl says, oh, you guys don't support, listen, 65% of the audience was male. I mean, Come on, meet us at least 35% half of the way. If you was to go like 50% showed
Yep.
up, 50% females to show up to Marvels, Marvels would have been a hit. But we
Yep.
knew it wasn't going to be a hit for two reasons. Because how they placate to the fan base that's not even there and exclude the actual fan base that brought you to the dance. Like I said, you're trying to do. Look, let's just be real. You're trying to do a Captain Marvel without the real Captain Marvel. Carl Danvers. Let's just get real. That's how I look at it. I didn't mind they changed her out. I don't care for that. Because to me, Captain Marvel wasn't that much of like an an important part of the universe. I mean, does the character have like possibilities for expansion? Yeah. So I didn't care they swapped her as a female, but it's the dumb
Yeah.
stuff you got her doing, and I don't know if you know this, so I'm gonna tell you guys this now. This I definitely confirmed this because I was following this for 2 days. And I thought it was funny. So the story goes like this: Valkyrie and Captain Marvel did hook up, talk about their relationship, but in order to like boost their sales overseas, because lesbianism, I guess, is a no-no overseas. I mean, guess it is. They actually cut that entire scene, but that wasn't just it. Also, I
Hmm.
thought that was it, so I did a little more digging, and what it was really at the end was okay. Kathleen Kennedy getting so like frayed by that South Park episode that dropped. It really like when I say that it upset these people, like you would think that we laugh about it, but I'm telling you, like people that know these people who told me that I'm telling you, like in the meeting, like they're throwing things in the damn meeting. She's screaming at the top of her head, and they're telling her, "You got to take a step back. We can't do this in there." They literally made her take out the gay, Layman gay part of the movie because they were afraid it was gonna get too much backlash after South Park. So once again, I love South Park, man. Yo, I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah.
South Park keeps it real always,
Always.
always. You better be on your toes. You better be on your toes. I hope one day they rag my comic. I would be so happy. But I'm telling you, South Park got it exactly right. If you watch what they said, and that's what it's about, the Pandaverse. We're not. Listen, you can panda all you want. You guys are not realizing this. Look at Phase 4 to Phase 5 now. Every Marvel movie lost money this year. Every one of them. The Marvels lost the most movie in history. All female led,
Female
female
directed.
directed,
Yep.
right? Female eccentric, felines, and it still flopped.
I see
With
what you
all
did there.
that. Yeah, you like that, right? So
So
it's just like for me, it's just. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was talking with my tattoo artist as I was getting my tattoo on Wednesday, and I said to him, I was
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah. Oh,
"Did you see Marvels yet?" And he goes, "In all honesty, between Marvels and Eternals, those were the two that I was least excited about, and I'm not gonna go see. I still have not seen Eternals yet." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "In all honesty, I never liked Eternals comics growing up, and I don't feel that I need to. So I feel as though this is the perfect time to like allow for comic book movies to grow within themselves as well as grow into a larger universe." And I said that to me, that makes total sense to me. The fact that you can have all of these movies build up and then these movies over here are kind of building up as well, but you don't have to watch these in order to get to Secret Wars makes all the sense in the world because you don't, as a comic fan, you don't pick up everything. And I also saw the same point on
yeah.
um, Instagram today. And this is all like roll right into the whole Silver Surfer. Someone said, "Why the hell do all of these Fantastic Four fans actually care?" Because Fantastic Four is Marvel's first family. However, if you really cared about Fantastic Four, you'd be picking up the comics, buying the comics, and enjoying the comics. But he's a local comic shop owner, and Fantastic Four is notoriously, over the past 10 to 20 years, he was saying, dwindled from a top 10 book, even with phenomenal writers, phenomenal stories, phenomenal artists, has dwindled from a top 10 book all the way down to a bottom 25.
Right.
And
And
it's
it
like,
just. Yeah.
It's not the writing, it's not the stories, it's just people don't like Fantastic Four anymore. Why? I don't know, because every time I pick up a Fantastic Four book when it ties into something else, I do enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it. Like I've
Hmm.
never been like, "Oh yeah, let me go buy Fantastic Four."
Yeah, I mean, like, I have an extensive Fantastic Four collection, so I'm gonna talk about what I think about Fantastic Four from like the very beginning to now. Fantastic Four has its roots within the system, but it's more like, I mean, I call it a cornerstone, meaning that it's got its place in Marvel history, bringing out from Amazing Fantasies. This is how you get in Spider-Man, you get in the Fantastic Four, you get in Iron Man. So
Yeah.
this is a cornerstone book. It was the first one to proceed in this. But I just feel like it just like the story itself, like it's good, but I just feel like with the way that it rolled, especially when they did Secret Wars, and that was another thing too. What you're saying is totally true. Like guys like me, I was buying back then just Spider Man. I mean, that's all I could really afford. But at the same time, now Secret Wars came out, and I had to start buying all these other comics to see what the hell was going on, not knowing if they were going to be worth money or not in the future. Well, some of them are, some of them aren't.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how that whole
Yeah.
connectivity started. And it was for two reasons: to sell more comics and to sell toys. Those Secret Wars toys, those are the reason why all this started. So, in the comics, the way you had the Fantastic Four and Spider Man, they would kind of like do guest and cameo appearances, but all in all, they were all in their standalone universes. And after Secret Wars, that's when comics started to change, and where I guess they were sitting on his property for decades and didn't realize, wait a minute, man, we could have been doing this all along. We could have had all of them battling all along. And the only reason why it came up because a toy campaign was telling them, what do you think about having a comic that will be based on them all battling together? And that's how you get Secret Wars. So it's just
Yeah.
like once Secret Wars was born, that's how the comic industry changed at that point, to the point that you get these connections that
Yeah.
you really don't have to read. But if you read them, you may miss something. And I hate that because it gets you to buy something that you may not like. You may not want to read another Fantastic Four. Because for me, I'll pick them up when I get them in my bundles. But I don't care to ever buy Fantastic Four again. If I see them, I get them. Um, but I'm not looking for them. Like, but if I see like a 300 in the wild or a lower number, I grab them because, they're not bad to grab. But no one cares about them, is what it is. You see, the reason why Marvel works the way it worked back in the days because they knew the key characters that they had and they knew how to
Yep.
work those key characters. And that's what the point is that, like you just said, the reason why Fantastic Four doesn't work is because no one likes Fantastic Four anymore. And it's got nothing to do with the writing. It's just the Fantastic Four itself. I
Yeah.
mean, how many compelling stories can you tell with four different entities versus this one kid who's whipping around the city in a web, or the mutants that can just take, like Wolverine can take an explosion and put himself back together. Like these things that you start to
Exactly.
compare their powers to, like you start to look at their place, and like I said, they're a cornerstone. But if you never read them again, they're not essential to anything.
Yep.
And that's what it comes down to. What's essential to the MCU? And it all depends on when you grow up and what they're doing with everything now. And for what I can see, that there's really nothing essential about the MCU. Phase 5 is more like a rewrite phase, a rewrite history, a rewrite in time. I mean, I guess because they didn't learn from losing, though, it's every movie that's going to come out from this point on, you got to understand, the fans are pissed. Especially with
Yeah.
Aquaman 2. Oh, I can't wait till that drops. Because when that drops, I mean, like, haven't you noticed the pattern? And here's the pattern I have noticed. Every superhero movie that came out after the next superhero movie has gone worse and lower and lower
Mm-hmm.
and low. Every one of them.
Yep.
There's not one that went up. No, no, no. Every one that came out, the next one did lower, and the next one did lower. And I've
And
never seen that ever in any year.
it's not for lack of content, it's not for lack of quality, because I mean Marvel's people were saying how bad Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and the Flash's CGI was. Honestly, from my own personal perspective, I didn't see any CGI in the Marvels that was trashy.
Yeah,
I thought that it was very well made. And then to answer Knighted Conchu's question, there is a current run, but like this is what I'm talking about. And this is what you're talking about. So Fantastic Four 16 comes out January 17th, 2024. So that's a little ways off. But here's the storyline. Teacher shares a list of inventions the scientists from the 1600s hope future generations would one day make. Valeria and Franklin Richards decide to go for bonus points by ticking off some of those unfinished items and inventing the impossible, enlisting the aid of Joe Venn, Nicole Grimm. The four of them engage in a little amateur mad science that quickly spirals out of hand. Do they go to their parents and ask for help? Of course not. A couple of kids can easily fix this. According to the couple of kids involved in this series of bad decisions, yes, absolutely nothing will possibly go wrong. That doesn't sound like a bad storyline. That sounds like it's very well thought out. It could be very fun. It takes inventions from like the Enlightenment era
yeah,
and it really allows the modern era to explore those inventions. But everything about that screamed teenager. None of that was built around Fantastic Four fans that are from when Fantastic Four first came out, from the golden era of Fantastic Four in like the 70s and 80s when they were doing really well, and from like when the movies came out with Doctor Doom and all that. None of that goes after any of it. It's
yeah,
Franklin and Valeria, and then you have Joe Venn and Nakala.
yeah. Because I know a lot about the current run with Fantastic Four, so I think a lot of people don't like it because I mean Franklin is pretty much freaking God. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Between his mother's invisible powers and his father's stretch powers, he was born literally with the ability to create universes. I mean, then he destroys them, then he plays with them, and like I guess that at a certain point, it's like you want to have your beings to be powerful,
Yeah.
but it's like that's why I always like Spider Man because I felt like he made so many mistakes, but he absolutely wind up earning who he was. He earned the spot,
Yep.
but he had to go through adversity. And it
And
seems like these people don't have any adversity to go through, and you're so
exactly.
OP, like you're born Franklin Richards to create freaking universes. Like, what's the point? How are you gonna beat this kid if when he grows up, and then he's traveling back and forth between
Yeah.
time, so he's seeing himself, and he's coming from the future as the adult Franklin Richards talking to him about what his powers are. So it's like he's beyond OP. He's
Yep.
like a beyonder at this point. That's who.
And,
So
and
and this
Spider
is
Man
the
is not
yeah
powerful. He has a spider sense and he has
yeah
superhuman abilities.
yeah.
He
That's it. He
he is
just
not
has.
powerful in the sense that we think of when we think of a superhero.
Well, we
He
gotta talk like
has
powers like this. He's not cosmic.
yes, exactly. Like he can beat someone's ass and he can figure stuff out and he has genius level intellect
Yeah
that like can battle even the brightest of minds in Marvel like Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Bruce Banner. Like Spider-Man's up there with those, but he is not superhuman to the point where he is beyond like human ability, if that
yeah
makes sense.
yeah. And also, I'm gonna backtrack a little about Reed Richards because no one can touch Reed Richards in any way, shape, or form, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because like I tell you, I am currently kept up with the Fantastic Four. I'm not a big fan of it, but this story I am a fan of. You know, I don't know if you ever heard of the Council of Reeds. Oh my God, I love the Council of Reeds. So it's it's pretty much how if you ever saw and I recognize immediately off of what's that, Rick and Morty, the Council of Ricks. It's
Yes.
exactly well. That's where the Council of Ricks come from. It
Okay.
comes from the Council of Reeds. Okay, Reed Richards becomes so obsessed with trying to solve like it's almost like the life equation that Darkseid has, but kind of like more like an equation to help the universe. And as he does this, he opens up like a portal that winds up finding another Reed Richards in another universe who has the same problem. Their lives are perfect, by the way. They
Yeah.
have everything they want, but this is just the mad
But they have
scientist mind
problems.
moving. Yeah, I gotta solve, we gotta help everybody. So he finds the other Reeds, and then they find other Reeds for other multiverses, and they make something called the Council of Reeds. And the
Yeah.
Council of Reeds is evil as hell. Like, it winds up becoming evil because then they realize, oh, well, in order for us to achieve our mission, we pretty much gotta commit some genocide. But we're gonna be alright once we commit all the genocide, because we're gonna help everybody. That's what all of these madmen come up with. And the Council of Reeds is just insane. So that's why I say that when you say that about, yeah, I mean, Tony Stark tries to take them on. A lot of people try to take them on. And the Council of Reeds, he becomes something, I forget what he's called. He has a freaking, it's actually a cool ass name too. But he becomes something else. Like, he becomes evil. And he pretty much, like, his powers are, like, omnipotent. He winds up, like, figuring out how to capture Galactus and kill Galactus. He could kill any hero. He could kill Silver Surfer now. I know he has the nullifier, the ultimate nullifier, which is like this tiny little pea gun, right? You know, they show the ultimate nullifier in the comics, and you look at it, and this looks like a stupid little ray gun, but Galactus cowers from the damn thing. So this is the only thing in the universe that could kill anything. It's called the ultimate nullifier, and what that is, it's pretty much like it nullifies anything out of existence. It's not just kill you. No, it erases you from actual existence. Like, you were erased from actual existence. So this is something that is of the power cosmic. So when you were saying that, yeah. So with two humanoids that became that took in the power cosmic. This is how they made Reed Richards, which is, like I said, he's a god, which is all the whole reasons why. Because there's another story I would recommend too that you guys read called Beyond, and it kind of explains what I'm about to say. But the reason why the Beyonder and all them Secret Wars happened and everything was because that we as the humans in this on this earth have the ability to absorb the power cosmic to become gods. So this earth is the new gods, and they're afraid that the new gods are going to go out throughout the universe and pretty much destroy the universe, because that's how they did. The gods who are in charge now did it the exact same way that they feel is going to be done to them, which comes down to like a god's. It's like a god's, like you talking about. For me, you know, you gotta have ideas. You gotta have inspiration. This is like Greek mythology. You know, when the giants roamed the earth and the gods took on the giants. Same thing. Same thing. There's gods in this universe, and then there's the new gods that are coming up, and that's pretty much everyone for Earth. So again, I'm sorry.
So, but once again, like, you're talking about a movie that is, or you're talking about a group of characters that has been built up in people's heads for so long. Like, we're talking, like, I think the first Fantastic Four came out in the early 60s.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's like, like, this has been worked in people's minds. They've come up with their own ideas for 60 years now. Yeah. And they want this movie to look a specific way, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, I hated the freaking Fox version of Fantastic Four. That was complete and utter garbage.
The original or the Michael B. Jordan one?
The Michael B. Jordan one.
Oh, yeah, that was trash.
I hated it. And what made it worse was, like, the way that they just destroyed Doom. Like, it's like, okay, for me, that was as bad as Spider-Man 3. With that freaking Venom. Talk about it again. I have it.
I got 20 minutes of it.
Oh, God, no. You see, when I told you guys that I still have it, look, it's still closed. Look, there's plastics. Look, some of the plastic's coming off. But this thing is still sealed. Get out of here. I hate that thing. I hate Spider-Man 3. So I get these all the time. I think people are trolling me for Christmas. I'm going to get like about 20 of these things. I hate them. I hate Spider-Man 3. That's it. So that's what Fantastic Four reminded me of that Doctor Doom. How they just destroyed a freaking good... I'm like, why? Why did you guys bother? You shouldn't have even made it at all. That's why I respect them trashing Batgirl. Because if it's that bad, don't ever put it out. I agree with that. When you got something that's horrible like that, get rid of it. because then
Yeah.
what happens? You put it out, and we're gonna hate it. So I mean, they never got Fantastic Four right. I mean, they got it close though with the first Fantastic Four. I did like Jessica Alba. I ain't gonna lie, that was a hottie back in the day. I think she's still hot though, but I liked her as Sue Richards. I thought she was good for the character, and I really liked the overall cast was good. I mean, Johnny Storm. What was he playing? Two characters in the Marvel universe. He was playing Storm, Johnny Storm, and Human Torch. He was playing someone else. Who else was this kid playing? There
Michael B.
was
Jordan played Killmonger.
no, I'm not talking about Michael B. Jordan. I'm talking about the Human Torch. What the hell's that guy? That actor's
Chris
name?
Evans.
Yeah, didn't he play another Marvel character?
Yeah, he was Captain America.
That's so duh.
Yeah.
So there you go. So he was
You're good.
I knew he did something right, and I see it now because he actually looks older. Yeah. So Chris Evans, like from the Human Torch to Captain America, which is crazy. But I actually didn't mind him doing that because honestly, it was a good fit for him. But it's just funny, like when you see like what happens in the Fantastic Four, and he realized, you know what, I gotta jump off this. He even realized that at early on, I gotta jump off this bandwagon. So he knew it. Like it's time to go. When you have a character and you're doing good in a series, and those first Fantastic Fours were good, but like I said,
definitely.
But and I think
Even
that
the second one.
Yeah, I tell you, I like the second one and the first one. I wasn't crazy about the Fox one, but I did like the first and second one.
Here's my biggest thing. I want to see them do a multiversal team of heralds.
Okay, yes, I would like
So
to see
that's
that.
why I think they're not talking about the Silver Surfer they want, because the Silver Surfer they want was already cast 20 years ago.
Okay.
Doug Jones and who was the other one that actually voiced him? Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne,
That
yeah.
like the Silver Surfer stole the show, as he should have. He was a title character.
Yeah, of
But
course.
he
It's his
stole
show.
the show in Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that they would bring him back as the main Silver Surfer, the main Herald of Galactus, and then Juno would be like a secondary Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
I
I would be
honestly
down for
would
that.
love to see Galactus have like 2 or 3 Silver Surfers, or not even Silver Surfers, but just Heralds in this movie. Because if you're talking about this amazing group of Fantastic Four members, you are going to need more than one Silver Surfer. The biggest thing that I didn't like about that movie is that they took out the Silver Surfer too damn quick. He
Not only
has the power cosmic. Like, I
right.
understand Reed Richards is smart as hell, but he has the power cosmic. To take him out like that was not believable for me.
Yeah, but also you gotta understand too, they also have the power cosmic. So we don't know power cosmic onto power cosmic how that would react. And that was their
True.
first interaction. So because they do have power cosmic and the intellect to understand what they got. See, because Reed Richards knows what he has. He knows this is from the cosmos. And he understands that this is a power that, humans are bound to have. This is where mutants come from. This is what the power cosmic is. It's bleeding within the society right now. Is how you get cosmic entities like that. They will expose to cosmic radiation and they survived the power cosmic and they were able to take that in. Gamma radiation that made the Hulk is still a power cosmic because there's a freaking there's an entire rage like entity in the universe that responds to the Hulk directly.
Yeah.
The Hulk never knows it. He finds out years on as he becomes because if you guys this is why I talk about different things. I read a lot. The Immortal Hulk is something that in the Maestro series and World War Hulk, when they send his ass off, when the Fantastic Four kicks him off planet Earth, and he goes to this other planet that it's literally beings more powerful than him with technology that he can't even overcome, to the point that they make him a slave. He's a gladiator, and he winds up kicking everyone's ass, uprising from that place, destroys the whole planet, frees the whole planet, and has a whole army coming back to Earth. So stories like that are good, and these are the older stories. And it's like more like about I believe that was probably like a 2007 story, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of good stories that happen that about Fantastic Four, and they were essential to things. But I just think that their place in the universe has always been like, um, I'm gonna call them more of the cleanup crew and the special guest stars than the actual stars itself.
Yeah.
Where if you see characters like you got um Spider Man, that's it. He's the man. He can't do no wrong. Got Iron Man. I
Yep.
mean, literally one of the founding members of the Avengers. You got Captain America. Like, these are people who can carry the franchise because they have legacy. And you notice that if you look, and I guarantee you, look up the top comics right now, and you're always going to see two comics in there. You're only going to see two, Spider-Man and Batman. That's it. They'll be in different
Yep.
positions all the time, but they'll be in the top 10. But they're always in different positions. But those are the only two you're ever going to see up there, Spider-Man and Batman. Everything else falls down. And you want to know what's the number one in the world? Or manga. Which is why I made a manga comic. I'm trying to find my damn comic. I don't know where I put it. But yeah, so I already understand like the dynamics of what's going on in the comic book world, in the manga comic book world.
I think
there's a big dynamic going on. Yeah, I'm sorry.
so. I think Marvel's is going to end up tying into Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest villains that the Fantastic Four ever fought was Skrulls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They were right there during the Empire series. They were right there during all this other stuff. But up there in the top selling comics right now, and it's obvious because Marvel's given this to so many different writers over the years. And Ron Lim has done so many of the covers of this. And Ron Lim is a phenomenal artist. To get him on a book, I feel like you got to pay big bucks.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're talking about a pro, so you got to get those bucks in.
I'm talking about Silver Surfer Rebirth.
Nice.
Like, I mean, the fact that we have this character that's outselling the books that he came from should tell you something, Marvel. We love the Silver Surfer. Norrin Rad is an amazing character.
Oh my god, his whole backstory. And even
the
purpose of why he done
so much lately.
Dude, he did it for love. He literally did it to protect the one he loves. He did it for love. He said, please spare my love, spare my planet, and I will be your herald.
And that's...
I don't know how this... Yeah.
That's the reason that I want to see Norrin Rad lead a team of heralds against the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. But you know what, too,
I want to see that happen.
We got Firelord. You got Nova.
Yep.
I mean, and this is why I don't get, like, why you gotta make it a Silver Surfer and why you gotta make a female? Make her like the one I put up online. That was hot. I mean, we're not gonna be that lucky, too. Yeah. I would like it to be like that. But I'm just saying, like, why don't you just exactly make it like that if you're gonna make it like that? But you also, like I said, you have Nova. Like, Nova. Yep. People, listen. So, Firelord and Nova. I gotta explain to you guys. So, Nova can stay on fire in the vacuum of space. Why? Because she's a super freaking Nova. Like, a supernova's not enough. You need a power cosmic. She's got the power cosmic, and it's a supernova.
Yeah.
You can't light a fire in space. There's no air. Do you know what stays on fire in space? Nuclear freaking bombs. The sun. Like, we got to use a little science here. So if Nova's flying around in space and she has nothing but fire around her, what does that tell you about the power of Nova? This is what I don't understand. There's so many females. And like I said, with that character alone, you could have did a nice standoff. Freaking, maybe she freaking does something. I mean, I would like to see, like, if something happens where her powers evolve and she becomes a Silver Surfer, that would be cool. But to straight out say, we're just going to make a female Silver Surfer is dumb. Because I love Spider-Man, as you can tell. And I couldn't imagine. They said, oh, we're going to start a new Spider-Man. But this time, we're going to make it Mary Jane Spider-Man. Like, we did the What Ifs, the Spider-Gwens and all that. And like I said, this is why these books, they do all right, but they'll never do better because you can't have a Spider-Man book without Spider-Man. You can't have a freaking Spider-Man book without Peter Parker. You can't have a Silver Surfer book without Norrin Rad. Don't try to change something that ain't broken. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And this is the problem with Marvel.
The other thing I did see a comment on Instagram that I thought was absolutely hilarious and entirely accurate was all of these comic book nerds are pissed off that they're going to make a female Silver Surfer. But you do realize that would mean that you'd basically have a naked woman with big boobs and a big ass riding a surfboard around the universe, and you'd be upset with that? And everyone's like, oh, well, when you put it that way.
You see the one like I said, you see how I put it out, right? I made it all flow. I made her breasts and her ass jiggle. I mean, yeah, I would female sailor surfer. You put that out there, but whoa, yeah, that's it. We good. I mean, but like I said, I just hope they just don't try to straight up change the entire legacy, cause there's no way in hell. And I'm saying this, women, don't get mad, but you know it's true. I'm gonna say this, and tell me in the comments. Tell me from mine. I want to see in the comments. The story will never be the woman is going to sacrifice herself for the man she loves. Please, don't kill the man I love. She gonna be like, man, I don't need that bum. You're gonna blow up this planet, man. Just give me the power. I'll be out of here. You can take his ass out. So I would love to see how that dynamic goes. And we laugh about it now. We laugh about this now. But watch it go down like this. So she's gonna be given a choice. She's gonna be like, man, I tell you what, can you just give me the power anyway? Just take everybody off this damn planet, and I'll do whatever you want. That's it. You know, this is gonna be diva activated.
Just give me the power, and I don't
just give me the damn power, man. I don't give a shit about what you guys do to this planet.
You don't even have to say. Anyway. I'll be. You can still eat this planet. I'll still become your guy or your girl. Like, it's good. Sorry, honey.
I'm telling you, please do it like that. Please,
no, but like, seriously, like that exactly is the story of Norrin Radd. And I don't want a female Norrin Radd. If they do that, they've lost me. If they take it and they do a Juno or a Nova, I can understand it. Let's move it into the 21st century. Let's do someone different, because Norrin's already been done. I get that. If you tell me that, hey, Norrin's been done, we don't feel that we can capture that lightning in a bottle again, we're leaving that with the old Fantastic Four and bring it into this, I get it. But also, they're saying that this is happening in the 70s. Like, this movie is going to be based in the 70s. So
how
could we see a female and then we jump to the present day and it's a male? Like, how would that even work? And do we need Galactus with a herald? Why do we need to see the movie we've already seen? I want to see Silver Surfer work with Galactus and fight Galactus separately. I don't want Fantastic Four to have any say in that.
That's why I hope that if the story starts out like that, she's like, you know what? Screw this planet. Just give me the goddamn house. Let's go. Let's go. Point me to the planets. Let's just eat them away. But, I mean, it's a very tricky thing, because we were talking about this and we always joke about this, right? They're always trying to put a chick in it and make it gay and lame. I don't know what it is about this whole obsession. I could see if this was a huge attractor to the LGBTQ. I won't say more like, because they're not trying. I don't even think it's trying to be LGBTQ. More like you're trying to cater to lesbians, I guess, and homosexuals, I guess, back and forth. I don't think it's everyone in the spectrum, especially with the Captain Marvel. The Marvels, from what I understood, because they literally were going full force with this whole relationship, and at the last second, because of that South Park, put a chicken in, make a lame again. Say what you want about South Park. That is like the saving grace of our culture in the last 20 plus years. God bless South Park. I mean, I'm telling you, man. But they make a point, because that's exactly what they think the formula is, that everybody wants to see a gay, lame chick in a movie. No, we want to see strong, hot females in movies, honestly. Like, when I used to watch, like, my shows, like, one of my favorite shows was Xena, Warrior Princess. I loved her, because first of all, I love brunettes. I'm a sucker for brunettes, and I love light eyes, so she had everything I like. And then I just like the character itself, like, how she was. And now they gave her a sidekick. Same thing with Hercules, they gave him a sidekick. And I liked the dynamic. I knew it was a simpler story. I wasn't too vested into, like, a whole world building. They're just running around screwing shit up. But they did actually have a story on top of their little side quests. And I liked stories like that, because Xena, Warrior Princess, catered to a specific niche of audience, where she was catered to the females, but also she was eye candy to the males. So she did both. And that's what you do. You see, with the Marvels, you cover up, like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to see the little Marvel girl, like, halfway naked, But come on, show me some skin, girls. Like nothing. Like
Yeah.
all I see is flatness and covered up and nothing. Like you're females. Like I get it. You don't want to be objectified, which I always laugh when girls do this. You talk about this all the time. I have my fiance. She tells me this all the time. She gets upset. We go to the gym. All guys stare at me. I'm like, listen, one day, guys are not gonna stare at you anymore. Your beauty's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna fade. So you know what you do at this point? Enjoy it while you still have it. Don't be
Yep.
mad. That's what I told all these gym girls. What are you mad about? One day you're gonna be old. Nobody's gonna look at you anymore. Nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, enjoy the gifts you got. She's like, yeah, it
Yep.
makes sense. It does make sense. Enjoy
So
what you got.
yeah, and I mean, I'm looking through Fantastic Four villains right now. They're rogues gallery, as we like to put it in the comics community,
Yeah.
and there's not many.
No.
There really isn't very many, and a lot of them are not big names. You've got
I mean,
the three big names are Galactus, Galactus, Kang, and Doctor Doom.
yeah. And
And I mean, I'm sick and tired of Doctor Doom versus Fantastic Four. We've already gotten 3 movies with that.
yeah.
And I'm sick and tired of talking about Kang unless you're going to take this and go Immortus.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four
And
versus
I can
Immortus
tell
would
you
be
right-
very fun.
Yeah. Not gonna happen. Definitely not Mortis. I can tell you that straight up. They're not even ready to handle what they got now, let alone more. Can you imagine going that far into the story? They wouldn't know what to do with it. These girls, like these, I call them girls because that's what's going on in Marvel, the MCU. They don't know what they got. I literally can't wait to get on. Trust me, guys. I'm praying that I get on this one Marvel project, and if I do, I'm gonna save Marvel. I'm gonna do my hardest. I'm gonna make sure that I sit there and I talk to the right people because I have I won't say I direct influence on movies and stuff, but I think over time I had a little influence on a couple of things for sure. But that's me not trying. But if I get on a Marvel movie, and if it's something that especially I like, I'm gonna have to gonna have to put the secret operation into play. We're gonna be doing Comics Lounge Secret Operation Save Marvel Project Show 1. I'll be showing you guys a little bit
Save it
behind the
from the
scenes. I'm
inside
trying
out.
to save this movie. Yeah, I'm gonna try, man. Believe me, I'm gonna try my hardest. But yeah.
You're going to be like the Comics Lounge CIA operation.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna have behind the scenes footage. It'll be doctored up. I may have to doctor up some of the documents. Can't show every letter and stuff. I mean, honestly, I haven't went back to work yet. I've been kind of waiting to. I gotta call them up next week, but I think I'm gonna be going back for 2024. And I know there's so many projects that are coming up. I'm gonna be so freaking busy, and I missed a lot of work, but like I said, I'm not upset about it at all because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to not only start my company and complete my comic, but publish it and write book 2. And I'm writing book 3 now as we speak, and everything's just flowing well. But once I'm back at work, what's good about what I do at least is that I have time to sit down and actually write. And sometimes I'll be writing, there'll be a writer in the back writing. Sometimes I tell the writers, if you guys want to sit with me and write, and what you working on? I'll be like, I'm working on my book. What you working on? So this is something I'm going to be doing back and forth. I'm going to network the hell out of myself. I don't really care for fortune and fame. I more want to. This comic for me is more like the dream that I always had. That I'm pretty sure a lot of us had growing up. I always want to make a comic book. And it feels wonderful to actually, take a piece of that and make the dream come true. But I also understand, and I come from the old school, and I don't mind honoring the old guard. I don't never want to tear the old guard down. If anything, I want to use the old guard to help build. The old guard to help build my stuff up. In homage to this is what I did this cover. This is a perfect example. This is a homage.
Yeah.
Thank you to Marvel because Marvel's my main influence. Obviously, I ain't gonna say they're not. They definitely are, and that's fine because we all have influences. Because believe me, Stan Lee had influences too. He has influences over at DC. Everyone's influenced by everyone. I mean, if you go into the history, oh my god, we're gonna do a show on this one day. So I'll give you a quick context, and I know you're gonna like this. The show we're gonna do is about how the Golden Age was robbed from everyone else. Like literally, the golden age of comics, everyone robbed off of everyone constantly. And I mean,
Yeah.
at the point where we could just go into Captain Marvel. And that right there is a DC property. No, it actually wasn't a DC property. Became a DC property.
Yep.
Then Marvel sued them over it. Became a Marvel property. They changed the man to the Flash. No, not to the Flash. They changed him to
Shazam.
Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Yep.
Shazam. That's when he becomes Shazam. And this is why. But I'm saying, like, this is because back in them days, they used to steal so much from each other. We're going to do a show
Yeah.
on that one day because it's very interesting. I found so many, like, cases and lawsuits, like, in the 50s. Like, they were suing over Betty and Veronica, and it was over the hair. They changed, no, it was Veronica. And Veronica in one book was a blonde, but then they made her a redhead. And the case was dismissed because the judge was like, well, it's a different person. But George looks the exact same way. He says, and the judge's words, well, and this is like I think in the early 50s. He goes, well, them dames all look the same to me. Dismissed. He called them dames, like, because them dames looked all the same to him. Dismissed, that's it. Like, he just saw it, he was like, you know, it's like, it's different. I mean, you know, they look the same, but it's a different person because she's got different color hair. So, shit like this, it's just like, they rob so much off of each other. But if it wasn't for this back and forth, I say borrowing of talent, you wouldn't have the modern comics that you have. So,
Yeah.
I think, like, what you're seeing now in movies is they say it's a fatigue. It's a movie fatigue. It's not. It's a content fatigue because you gotta understand. It's not just about the movies. It's about the shows.
Yep.
Never in history, like when we were watching Phase 1 and Phase 2, we didn't have to watch all these other little side movies. Oh, you know, the main movies you watch, and they're all connected. But we didn't have shows that we had to watch 8 episodes to find that Easter egg at the freaking end. You know?
And it
like,
wasn't as connected as everyone makes it seem.
Yeah.
Phase 1 through 3 was not always extremely connected.
Right,
there's really 6 movies you have to watch in order to get all of the Infinity Stones leading up to Infinity War.
Right. I mean, like, and even with Captain Marvel, which they knew better. You got $1 billion franchise out of nowhere. That and Aquaman. They should have known better that you had a fluke and you should have just took the money when you had it. Now,
and it's where you sandwich the movie.
Because what do they say in life? Timing is everything. And you think it's not? That movie was sandwiched between 2 of the biggest blockbusters in Marvel's history. And it made it seem like it was essential watch. Watch this, because it's going to explain about the next chapter, which you see fucking Captain Marvel flying in there for a couple seconds. That's it. That's it. So you got to make $1 billion to give us a 12-second message in the next movie, which she really didn't have any essential part in. Now, understand, she's supposed to be strong as hell, but yet didn't really have much to do against Thanos. Thanos pretty much spanked that ass, which I was happy. But like in the Marvels, like I know one scene, like I feel like she was a complete biznatch because she killed that freaking planet with the AI. She just killed the AI without thinking about all the people you're gonna kill.
Yep.
And then, you know, what do they call?
Well, she thought she was doing the right thing.
Yeah, but you think about it, right? Yeah, I know. I'm going to kill this AI machine and then just leave everybody to their own devices. Because, you know, it's a couple of people in charge. It's like in real life. I'm not even going to start with it. But it's just like in real life. When you do something like this, you got consequences. You're trying to take out a couple of people, but in the end, you're going to wind up taking out innocent people as well. So, yeah, she was the Annihilator. That's what they call her, the Annihilator.
So
yeah. What a great story, Captain Marvel. The Annihilator.
I will say, if you think about it, from the time that she gets her memory erased to the time that she finds out who she really is, it's about 5 or 6 years. So it might even be less than that. So if you really think about it, she has the mind and the naivety of like elementary student. She doesn't know that her actions are going to have consequences. She believes This is what's wrong. If I destroy it, I'll fix it. If I take
Yeah.
this thing away that's um basically enslaving the Kree and forcing them into all of these battles and fights and wars, they won't have that anymore. So I totally get that, and I liked the fact that it's basically a redemption story for her because of the fact that she was so naive. She thought, I'm going to destroy this, and that's just going to be that. And then that like makes me think, okay,
Yeah.
what did you do during those 30 years where you were battling and helping out other worlds? Were you genuinely helping them, or were you thinking that you were helping them and learning along the way, like you did with the Kree? Did you just like go, oh
Yeah.
well, destroyed the
She
AI,
was
now I'm
pretty
going to move on to
much.
the next world and see what their
Yeah.
problem is?
Yeah, she was pretty much helping out, but it wind up, like I said, because not thinking it through, because
Yeah.
it's one thing. Remember, this is why, like I said, don't mess with Spider-Man. Don't mess with Spider-Man, because he knows the answers to everything. With great power comes great responsibility. She
Yep.
has great power, but she doesn't have the discipline to know how to use that power in a
Yep.
responsible manner to take care of what the you. If
Exactly.
you're gonna get involved, look, this is like this in real life. So for all you stupid ass people that stand out there and you're filming people who are getting their ass beat, you're a punk ass. Get your
Yep.
ass involved. Don't
Yep.
stay there like a drone. You see, and that's the problem. When you get involved, there are consequences to your actions too. So when you get involved, you gotta be ready. So
Yeah.
she gets involved with an entire civilization without taking on the consequences of her actions
Yep.
that may have
Exactly.
a negative impact, which is why they're after her. And what you're saying about the redemption story, yeah, that is a redemption story. And okay, they wiped your memory, so you don't have no recollection of it. But it doesn't change the fact that you still did it. It's
Yeah.
like I had this guy one time in an arrest, and he didn't know that it was illegal to, I guess, stab somebody. So, but you find out.
Yep.
Sorry you didn't know this, but
Yeah.
your
Just so you know, it
ignorance to the
is.
law, just know, but your ignorance to the law does not excuse the action of one's
Exactly.
actions. And he was like,
I thought
that's
it was
very
only
cool.
illegal to stab him in the left hand. I didn't know it was
Yeah, yeah,
illegal to stab him in the
exactly.
right hand too.
I mean, like people. I'm telling you, I've heard all excuses, but people. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I guess people are naive. I mean, they really are. I've seen it in comics. I've seen it in real life.
Oh, for
Some
sure.
people are just naive, and their actions, like I said, like or even your inactions. This is why I love the
Yep.
Spider-Man so much, because his inactions is what caused him to lose his
Multiple
uncle.
inactions.
Yeah. Right, because he could have like got involved. He
Yep.
could have stopped the guy. He could have went after. Nah, he's like, nah, whatever. Let the criminals go. They were robbing people. He didn't care. And then
He
boom,
could have killed
crime was.
Goblin, and yet
Yeah,
Gwen Stacy dies. Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Everything that, but you know, like, because now at that point, he doesn't want to take life because he understands he's trying. Like, in other words, when you put yourself in the middle of something like what every, and this is the whole lesson of Peter Parker too. Is what exactly what we're talking about. You
Yep.
got to be ready for the consequences. That's it. So it's either get involved and prepare for the consequences, or be that idiot with the camera and just film your life away. That's it. And that's it. That's your only contribution to society. I was there
Yeah.
that day. I was taking a video. What'd you do to stop it? Well, I can't. Like, me personally, if I see somebody getting their ass kicked or whatever, there's no way I'm standing by. There's
Yep.
absolutely no way. I'm not standing by my phone and film. No, no, no. It ain't happening. Not in my presence. I
Yeah.
can. Chris, trust me. You know who I am. I can guarantee you it ain't happening. Okay, it's just that's it. It's not even a remote possibility or a thought about it. When I say
Yeah.
it won't happen, it will not. That's my will. I sayeth that it beeth. But you know, I just feel like this MCU is just, it's real. Like, everybody used to say, oh, it's a joke. Oh, that's sad. Oh, it's misogynistic. But you want to know something? The MCU, that comes from Marvel. So don't let them fool you. Don't let them think that, oh, they try to blame people like Neurotic and all these other people, Critical Drinker. No, no, no. They did not make up the MCU. That was freaking Kathleen Kennedy's idea of calling it the
Yeah.
MCU. They floated it around in meetings, and it caught on. And then she was like, well, what about the Force? Let's make the Force female, I swear. So This is and it's so obvious. It's not like I'm saying anything you guys don't know. Look at what the hell's going on
Yeah.
with Star Wars as well. The Force is female. We're getting another Rey Pow. Now she's Rey Skywalker. She's coming back as Skywalker. She's coming back to do what Luke Skywalker was supposed to do originally in all the freaking canon, in all the books, in all. This is why I'm turned off by Disney, because you just took franchises and you're trying to rewrite them in a way that you're trying to tell me that I don't know the original story about what Luke's mission was. He was supposed to rebuild the freaking Jedi Order. That was his damn mission. His mission, destroy the Empire, rebuild the Jedi Order. What the hell happened?
Yep.
He moves to some freaking planet and drinks the milk off some, green milk off some freaking alien. Like, what, why? Why? Because the Force is female.
Yeah. So you brought up Aquaman. And as you said, Aquaman made over $1 billion. It was sandwiched. Actually, it really wasn't sandwiched between anything good. It came out right after Joss Whedon's Justice League, which arguably was okay. But it's the Justice League. It's the first time we saw Justice League live action, so everybody loved it.
You know who's going to make money no matter what, yes.
Exactly. Jason Momoa did a phenomenal job playing Aquaman. Whether you like him, whether you like Aquaman or not, whether you like Jason Momoa and the look that he puts towards Aquaman or not, he did a great job playing it. He did his part in that movie, and everybody loved it. Then you move on and say, okay, well
I don't love Jason. Yeah,
Jason Momoa did really good. The character was fun. He was funny. It was right up to the line. And then you come out with arguably one of the wokest movies of the 2010s, where it's all about Atlantis is attacking because they're sick and tired of humans, because all we ever do is pollute the ocean. If that's not woke, I don't know what is. And that made $1 billion again because it came out after Justice League. And then you look at Shazam, and the first Shazam movie was very well received, and that's what came out immediately after it. And I'm looking up how it did at the box office right now. It made $367 million. So you've got Justice League, made a ton of money. You've got Aquaman, made over $1 billion. Arguably, Justice League was not well done. Even Snyderverse Justice League, the Snyder Cut, was not well done. And then you have Shazam come out after $2 billion movies in a row, and it doesn't even crack $500 million. And you're going to tell me that Aquaman should have been at $1 billion? It earned that? No, it didn't. People just thought, this is the DC I want to see. I want to see more Justice League. I want to see more of it. Let me go. It also proves what we've been talking about.
Like
when you make movies about the characters that are the legacy characters like Aquaman, people are going to show up. When you make movies about Shazam that not many people know about, nobody gives a flying fuck. Madam Web, nobody needs a Madam Web movie.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. Not only Madam Web is far removed from Spider-Man, it's like she's really not connected in any way other than, like I said, a couple of issues, maybe 20 at the most. And so her freaking biggest accomplishment is an actual video game. Shadow Dimensions. I recommend you guys get that if you really want to see some real, like what Madam Web was like in, because between that game, the anime series, and a couple of 20 appearances is like what Madam Web is to me. This thing right here is like a freaking joke. This looks like an after-school CW special that's gonna freaking tank. Oh, and they're making it come out on Valentine's Day. Because, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some Spider-Man fans who want to see a non-Spider-Man movie with a villain dressed like Spider-Man killing everyone, right? I'm pretty sure... has no Spidey powers whatsoever. That Spider-Man that's killing everybody. But he's
all the Spidey
like
fans
Spider-Man.
Are going to take their girlfriends to go see it, and it's going to make $1 billion. End of discussion. It will.
Yeah.
If it breaks even, I'll be surprised.
Hey, man.
So
Well, I'm telling you right now, this should be a CW special. CW should have made this. It should just be on Netflix, on YouTube, or freaking or Prime Video. Put it
yep,
on one of these platforms, but don't put it in the movies
yeah.
because I got a feeling that. So here's my predictions for 2024. You ready? Aquaman is gonna bomb
I was
worse
just about to ask
than
you
the
about that.
Marvels, right?
Its budget is
So I'm
two hundred
telling
and
you
five
right now.
million. Right here, right now. What's your
Oh,
prediction
yeah.
for how much it's gonna make? 205 million is the budget. That means it needs
Woo!
probably 500
Oh,
million to break even.
I was gonna tell you they're gonna be lucky to make 250 million, and that's being generous. I'm gonna say they're not gonna break more than 200 million worldwide for sure. Definitely going to tank. It's gonna be worse than the Marvels. I don't know. 200 million, that may be too much for them because the Marvels haven't even got the 200. They're not gonna get
No,
to
they
200 million.
haven't.
No, so they gotta go lower. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, they have to go lower. So yeah, it's gonna bomb. I say about 150 to 180 million. That movie will probably do throughout the whole run of it because now you have to understand something. This was proven already. DC, listen up. We told you this for a couple months ago when they were releasing The Flash. So listen up. Everyone hates Amber Turd. They hate her ass. They hate her. She lied. She lied and got caught out there. Johnny Depp's the man. I don't take sides. I didn't
No.
even know. I'll be honest. I saw Aquaman. I don't remember this girl. I always thought her name was Amanda for some stupid reason. That's how unimportant Amber Heard is to me. Like, if
She was
she was
hot.
someone like Angelina Jolie, how come I don't know you? Angelina Jolie's hot, great actress. She's in Gia. I was like, Jesus. You know,
Yep.
had me at Gia. So, actresses like that are memorable. But I don't even know who the hell this chick was. And then I see Aquaman, and I'm like, I gotta watch this again. And even watching it again, I'm like, holy shit, I don't even remember the scene where she's up in the island and they're talking for. I do
Yep.
remember that they were talking for a few minutes, but I don't remember her getting into a fight, her getting arrested by them and being brought back to Atlantis. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
remember none of this. I'm like, this is so unforgettable. That's how unforgettable she is. As an actress, she was already unforgettable. I
Yep.
didn't even know who the hell she was. So now, after all the scandal, after all this embarrassment, all these things that are happening, you're gonna tell me that you're gonna make a movie. You're gonna make a movie with this chick, and she's one of the co-stars. Oh, and trust me, when I say they cut her down significantly, I mean I'm hearing that she may be completely written the hell out as a last-minute ditch effort to save the movie. They
Yeah.
don't even want her in it, but they did show her in 2 trailers for a couple seconds, so it's gonna
Yep.
be hard to write
Which
her
I'm
out.
surprised they even did that.
Listen, you gotta understand, it's a very tricky situation because now you still have the 47 other women that believed her from the get-go, you know, like believe all women no matter what. Those 47 women that always believed her, they're still crying over her innocence.
Of
Trust me,
course.
it doesn't matter. That's not evidence. It's all doctrine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you know, it's never her fault. You know, there's no such thing as accountability when it comes to these women. No. They want equality without accountability. They want to be equal to men without having to be signing up for the draft for the military. Like, you know, you can't call that equality. You want equality? No problem. You got to do everything we do. That's it. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
not equal. And we're not trying to compete with you guys. That's the whole point. Men are not trying to compete with women in any way, shape, or form, but yet women are trying to compete with men in every aspect and facet, including entertainment. You don't need to compete
Yeah.
with us. Do what Barbie did. Barbie did what Barbie does, which is
Yep.
for girls, for the women that grew up, who had a Barbie
Yep.
doll, who are like, look at me, I'm strong, independent, and realize, goddamn Barbie, you're the reason why the patriarchy's broken. You're throwing
Barbie
your
went
Barbies to
after
the side.
3
So, I
generations
just
of
feel,
Barbie fans, and they nailed it. And
yeah,
they even nailed
didn't I
getting
say?
other people to the theaters that have never picked up a Barbie in their entire life.
Listen, guys that are watching this, go back a couple of months and watch the show that we talk about Barbie and watch what I say at the end of that show. And I
Yep.
said it. Barbie was going to be a runaway success. It's going to make over $1 billion. It's going to
Yeah.
surprise everybody. And watch my prediction come through and whammo. Just like I said, the Marvels was going to bomb
Yep.
spectacularly, and they bombed the lowest. Aquaman will follow next. Madam Web will follow after that. Oh, Madam Web, we're not even talking $80 million. Forget that. Madam Web was lucky you see in $75 to $80 the whole run. That's my
Yeah.
prediction for Madam Web. But don't worry about it. We're gonna laugh about this now. Rewind it in a couple of months. This is why we're gonna be world famous, because we already know
Yep.
how it's going down. I'm telling you guys, this
So
is not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
so Aquaman 2, we're both saying under $200 million.
Oh my god, it's gonna do
I
worse than Marvels.
the
Yes,
one
definitely.
thing I
Wait,
can't
wait, I
wait to
don't know. That may
see
be hard.
is all of the excuses that come out of the DC fanboys who still want the Snyderverse, who still want the DCEU. Like, the one person that I always think of, that I always go to when one of these DC movies comes out, is Legion of Comics, because I want to see like what his take is.
Yes.
And like, I'll admit, I'm a Marvel fanboy. I'm totally okay admitting that. Like, I love Marvel. I will always support Marvel. I will always go see the movie in theaters because I want to get that. I want to get the experience that was created for the theater. I need
Right.
that to see, like, okay, does this movie suck because it sucks, or does it suck because you can enjoy it sitting with a bunch of other people who love it, sitting with a bunch of other people who are also Marvel fans. Like, if you can't go into a theater and absolutely enjoy the hell out of a movie or absolutely find it entertaining while you're sitting with a bunch of other nerds, then you know it's a fucking failure. And that's how I felt.
Oh my
Actually, I didn't
god.
go see The Flash, but that's how I felt when I went to go see Justice League in the theaters. I didn't feel like that was entertaining at all. I didn't enjoy it. I almost walked out a couple times. I was like, this is trash. And then the thing that most people had a problem with was the fact that Batman was suicidal. I'm like, he wasn't suicidal. He was willing to sacrifice himself. Iron Man's been doing that for 10 years now. Like, he was willing to sacrifice
He
himself.
literally
That's not
sacrificed himself
suicidal.
at the end when he snapped the gauntlet. That's
Exactly.
not suicidal. That's sacrificial.
Yep.
Yeah,
But people were
that's all
saying,
that
"Oh,
is.
that was in Joss Whedon did that in distaste, and because obviously what happened with Snyder's daughter." And it's like, no, no, no. He did it because that's what Batman does. He makes the sacrifice play when he knows that he's beaten. He knew he was beaten in that
Yeah,
movie. But
yeah,
that's besides the
yeah,
point. My biggest thing is that,
yeah.
and Marvel's, I just looked it up, is currently at 167 million last time they updated it. So probably will get to 200 million at some
Oh,
point. That is possible to get that other 33
that's
million dollars,
still.
but that's still
But
74.8
the movie cost 200.
million under the budget.
That's
That's a
under the
loss of probably
budget, not included. We're not.
$175 million.
Oh, I'm gonna say more than that. I'm gonna say the losses will be about 400 million because you gotta account for advertisement, which they did some, but still, that's
I don't think
still
they did much
half the
advertisement.
movie's profit anyway. That's like, I mean, did you see that freaking? I think they tried to win the women back. Oh my god, what an epic fail this campaign was! So they did a new. I'm gonna get the trailer just so I can edit it and put it up on my YouTube channel. They did a new Marvels trailer. It's called the Marvels with the cats. Oh my. And I was like, if they would have made a movie like this, I would have wanted to go see the damn movie. The movie with the cat, the trailer with the cats, it's the freaking funniest. Like, to me, I thought it was enjoyable, but I could
Yeah.
see, like, some people, like, just imagine, you have the original Captain Marvel. I actually have it somewhere. I ain't gonna dig it out, but it's somewhere. I'll have it next time when we talk. Like, the man Carl Danvers, the
Yep.
original Captain Marvel. I have that. And I always say that, you know, which Photon, that's Captain Marvel too. It's a shame she wasn't even called Photon in the movie Captain Marvel. She was
Yeah.
just, oh, Monica Rambeau's fine enough for me.
Yep.
Poor. Oh, wait, she was she Quasar? No, she wasn't Quasar. Photon. She was also
Yeah.
Photon. Yes.
Photon and
Same Captain Marvel was also Photon.
Spectrum.
Photon, Captain Marvel, and Spectrum, yeah, Spectrum.
Yep.
That's what, not Photon. Spectrum and Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And Spectrum because she has the light power. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she has the cosmic light, and Null is like the void. So
Yep.
she literally has the light to light the void, but the void, because she's one being, you can't light the whole void.
Yeah.
So in other words, her powers are can fight no, but and in the end, there's too much of the void and not enough of her to fight. There's not enough light to fight the darkness. In other words, but yeah, very interesting character. I mean, like I always loved Monica Rambeau. And when I saw what they were getting ready to do with her, I was like, no, please don't do this. Don't take her legacy away from her. Please. Because everybody wants to make diversity and inclusion. Shit, look at the first Secret Wars cover. She's right on the damn cover. Photon's on the cover. They're calling her Captain Marvel in that. She's on the cover. Black Captain Marvel. I was
Yeah.
cool with that. I didn't even care. Like when people say, oh, this race swapping. Listen, Captain Marvel has been race swapped and gender swapped so many times before it even made it to the damn screen that people don't understand that this character has just been one of those characters no one's
Yeah.
had a problem with. They race swapped Samuel L. Jackson. No one had a problem with that. You know?
Which
And I don't care about the race swapping thing. I just don't, as long as you're a good actor, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
But I just say like this, someone like Nick Fury, I mean, was he a legacy character? I mean, he kind of could have been, but as far as any TV shows and movies goes, there was never a white Nick Fury. So it wasn't a problem to just, we could start
Yeah.
this out with Samuel L. Jackson, which made sense because Marvel was trying to get, at that time, what they realized what they needed, star power to their franchise. So, hey, listen, would you like to be a black Nick Fury? He's like, sure. And they asked him, would you like to be quiet, whatever the hell, that freaking character he played in Star Wars? Yeah, I'll do that one too.
Yep.
I like those parts that he caught. Because, like, I don't have a problem with trying out new things. But I don't like when things are done deliberately. Like, don't make him deliberate there because he's black. Just say, we wanted to put an actor in with experience to see where he could do with this character. I respect that more.
Yeah.
I don't
If
care
you
for race swapping. Like with Miles Morales, yeah,
if you have a bunch of people who show up for an audition and Nick Fury is played by Sam Jackson because he was the best audition, he showed up, he showed out, and he did amazing. I have no issue with that. But if you say, hey, you know what, we're going to cast Snow White, but she's not going to look anything like that. We want only people who look like this for this casting call. That is a problem. And you were just saying that, obviously Captain Marvel's been race swapped and gender swapped over and over. And that's, like, when that happens, I feel like it's a great thing for that character because that shows that Captain Marvel is an icon that anybody who's willing can take up the mantle. Just like Spider-Man. The Spider-Man suit will always eventually fit because anyone can be under the mask. Peter Parker knew that when he started being Spider-Man. He's like, at some point, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. Batman knew that when he started being Batman. He's like, at some point, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. Batman is a symbol. He always has been a symbol. And he's a symbol that's supposed to strike fear into the minds and the hearts and souls of criminals. And that was a success. That is why Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, was such a mainstream success, because it's not Bruce Wayne in the future. It's Bruce Wayne training the next legacy of Batman. And that's what I want to see.
Actually,
going back to Fantastic Four, I wouldn't mind having Nathaniel Richard, or not Nathaniel Richard, their sons, Valeria and I can't think of the son right now. I wouldn't mind having them because honestly, I think that we're ready for a Fantastic Four that's brought into the modern era. That's not just Johnny, Sue, Reed, and Ben.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll put it to you like this. I don't have a problem with trying new things or swapping people out and whatnot, so long as I feel like with legacy characters, don't mess with them. Want to build around them? That's fine. Let's build around legacy characters. We could do that all day, because that's the whole idea. And this is where the whole stupid Madam Web gets it wrong, because they literally started out with move over Spider-Man.
Yep.
Why? You should be working with Spider-Man. You should be like, well, he's the one that can help us. Not be like,
Yeah.
oh, move over, we got this. Because girl power, and we don't need no man. And we're strong and independent. And down with
Yep.
the patriarchy. And all this other crap that you hear these crazy modern women screaming. Listen, guys. The generations before you, 2 generations before you, go to your grandmothers. Go and ask them, hey, grandma, what do you think you'd rather have? The kind of life you have now where you brought like 80 of us, 90 of us into this world, or a thought in life in the club, never meeting daddy, never meeting no one, and just being a strong, independent woman. Let me tell you something. Men, we can survive with or without women. Women need family. Women need to procreate and have children. This is the natural order of things. I'm not saying don't pursue your life or don't have a dream and don't do nothing. But what I'm saying is that every time you go against the natural order of things, things go awry and wrong. And this is a perfect example with these movies. You're going against the order of what these movies were made for. They were made for boys. They were made for men. That's what they were made for. We don't mind if the women want to come along for the ride. Hey, we cool with that. I mean, when I met my fiance, and the first thing she told me when she saw my collection, she was like, oh my God, I love collecting. I was like, oh my God, that's it. She's a keeper. That's it. Because it's very... At that point, it was very rare to find a girl that likes comics the way I did and geeks out about it, so we cool with that. But you see, what she even says is that, why are they doing this? I like the characters the way they were. I like the stories. She loves Batman. That's her man. You think they want to see her swap out Batman for some I guess tranny, queer, non-binary freaking bat person that just flies as a non-binary symbol? And the symbol comes out all rainbow? No. She's like, no, keep Batman the way he is. He's Bruce Wayne, he's sexy, he's tall, he's dark, good looking, and he can fight, and he's Batman. Why would you want to change that? That's the point. When you have a winning formula, keep that formula. If you want to throw things in there, like the whole Miles Morales thing, I knew immediately. Like, wasn't a big fan, but I wasn't really collecting at that time, but I just remember that I just so happened to be in a comic book at that day, and I actually did grab a copy, and I still have it. It's a freaking beautiful 9/8 perfect newsstand. Lucky. I looked at this comic, and I was like, I know this kid's going to be something big one day, but immediately I said to myself, I said, this is a tokenized Spider-Man. Okay. Because it's not the first time. See, when people talk about this book, tokenized Miles Morales, no, that's not true. The first tokenized character was Miguel O'Hara. Let's go back to Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara, if you want, and I, being someone who could actually identify with that kind of a person, was like, for the first time in my life, I was like, I never thought about it. I was like, anybody can see themselves as Spider-Man. Yeah. But that was the closest I really saw myself as Spider-Man. How we almost have the same freaking name. That's what really killed me about it. So I was a big fan of it. But then I knew what they were doing. I knew. But I wasn't like... I was like, okay, who's to say that in the future... Like you said, Peter Parker can't carry the mantle forever. Yeah. So this is a future Spider-Man. And if you guys ever read Spider-Man 2099, he's really like... He's more of a creature than a human. Mm-hmm. His mouth is deformed. He gets enraged and he turns into like this freaking spider that will kill you. That's why when you see like a lot of people didn't like how his Miguel O'Hara's attitude was in Enter the Spider-Verse, but I said no, they got it right. That's how he would be. He would be like that because he understands that. Actually, in one of the comics, there is a story where he destroys the universe. Pretty much in the same way. He goes into another universe that he wasn't supposed to be in. He didn't live there and he actually destroyed it. And he's always felt like now it's his duty, his responsibility. Because it comes down to, I call it, the Peter Parker conundrum. They always have to learn things the hard way in order to become the heroes that they become. In other words, what I like about those stories is it shows that you have to go to hell. Yeah. It's a canon event, exactly. But yeah, you have to go through hell in order to learn. And the problem with a lot of these, like Madam Web, and I think what's going to happen is that they all got their powers. They're not going to struggle with it. They're not
Yep.
going to know what it means to get to that level. It's just all going to be given to them. It's going to be
There's
like,
no
oh, look,
hero's
girl
journey
power.
anymore, and that's
You
the
know?
problem.
Right, and that's the problem. You took away the hero's journey. The whole reason why we like Peter Parker is not because he's Spider-Man. It's because we watched him go on a journey that would. How would we have handled it? What if it was one of us? Would we have handled it any different? Would we have handled it worse? Would we have been corrupt? I mean, I played one of my favorite games is Spider-Man: Webs of Shadow, and I'll be honest, I had to play that game again because I only played it once, and I thought I was gonna save everybody and be nice. No, man, I kept the black costume. I dumped Mary Jane. I was like, get out of here, Mary Jane. And I kept Black Cat. I kept Black Cat as my bitch. So I was like, yeah. So who the hell knows? I had the power, and I wind up taking over the whole city with Black Cat. So yeah, you never know. You know, great power comes great responsibility. I like that lesson. And I just think that the kids don't understand what that means anymore. With great power comes great responsibility. I just think that they believe that whatever I can believe, I can achieve. And up to a certain extent, that is true. But there's also something that's called failing upward. Okay? It happens. I always said this when I was younger in my old career. Failure is rewarded on my job. It always was. I swear to God. The more of a fuck up you was, the more reward you got. It seems to be the way in Hollywood, too. I want to be a screw up in Hollywood. I want to fail up, you know? Hey, Mike, look, you just bombed that last movie. Okay, but we're going to give you a $400 million franchise. What do you say? Yeah! And what do I got to lose, right? I already bought, like, that's the thing about the Marvels director, is she bombed every movie she made, but broke a record. Broke a record because, it's funny because she broke a record for making the most money out of any black director in a movie, which the movie made the lowest money in the history of a Marvel one. So what a record, right? You gotta take the small victories wherever you can get them at this point. Marvel
it's almost like
every freaking million they can get.
You knew that this was gonna break that record just by making it. So is that record really does that record really mean anything? I mean, obviously it means something to someone, but does it really break the record if the movie should have made $600 million? Because honestly, this movie, in of itself, if you were to come out with a kick-ass Captain Marvel movie where it wasn't just the three of them, where we actually got to see Captain Marvel from way back when kind of team up or kind of help her and walk her through what was wrong with what she did. If you would have done that, I would have been on board. And a lot of other people would have been on board with this.
Me too.
Like, you could have easily changed the story up just a little bit because he wouldn't have needed to be in there for very long. It could have just been flashbacks. Hey, this is what she's been doing and this is who she's been learning from. And this is what changed her from Captain Marvel to the Annihilator, back to Captain Marvel again. This is what made her truly be worthy of the Captain Marvel name. She worked with Marvel.
And I think you're right about that. But the problem is that we're talking modern MCU. They don't care. Yeah. They don't care. They just want to do the story. Well, I have an idea. No, go away. That's it. They don't care. So the thing is that you're just going to get used to seeing more franchises getting more and more butchered until these people wake up and realize, well, we're going broke here because you're going to wind up starting to sell shit. I mean, so it happened with Disney. They're selling off already. I mean, and one of the main reasons why they sold off was because they had a Hulu obligation, these dumbasses. Because they promised Hulu by January 2024 that they were going to own all of Hulu, which was a $600 million purchase, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to say 60
somewhere
million.
Around there.
It was like 600 million. 600 million. So this really put them in the red because the obligation time was up and they had no choice but to activate it. So hey, good for Hulu because you guys made an amazing job by getting rid of a substandard platform and selling it to Disney for top dollar. Top dollar. I need to develop some crap so I can sell it to Disney because I don't know if you ever play Hulu, but Hulu's crap. Their freaking whole device is crap.
Yeah.
Netflix works the best. Amazon's a little crappy. It works all right. And anything else that's not Prime, after Prime and Netflix works like garbage. Disney same way. I always have problems with that thing loading up. When a premiere would come out, it would take like, oh sorry, like what the hell? He just came out. Disney, get your stuff together. So but don't worry, you're not gonna have this problem anymore with streaming because, I mean, pretty much all their streaming is gonna be dead soon anyway. So it's like they're talking about another Andor season. I think they're gonna do an Andor season, which Andor was actually pretty decent. There's a couple. Look, you guys gotta we did all the homework for you. I'm gonna do a video soon in the next couple of days. It's gonna be the Disney Plus shows you should watch and the ones you should skip. Because I can just tell you right off the bat, definitely watch Loki. Remember, we were talking about this, and I didn't want to, and I was really on the fence about Loki because I know they did a good job of season 1, and I was just afraid. You gotta be afraid now. Disney makes you afraid. I was never afraid of anything in my life until I started watching shows that were made by Disney. I was always afraid that they were gonna mess it up. So I'm sitting there like, damn, I hope they don't mess up Loki. And no, they did a fantastic job. And you see, they have the ability to do this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is not anything that they had to change around. They had the race swap. They had the sex swap. They had the blah, 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 blah. They made so many variants of Loki. But in the end, who took over? The OG Loki. That was the point. And that's how you do a series. I thought the series was fantastic. That one I recommend. I recommend The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 only. Do not even waste your time with Season 3. Once the kid goes away, that's how it should have ended. To me, that's how it ended. I didn't even make it through all the ways of Season 3 because once I saw Bo-Katan come in and she was taking his balls from the Mandalorian, I was like, okay, I see where this is going. They should just call her Balls Pecan, whatever the hell her name is. Ball Pecan. but I can't even say it. Yeah. She makes me that angry. And it's not her fault. She's a great actress. It's just that the lines is what they give them. It's like that stupid Rings of Power. I don't know if you watched the Amazon Lords of the Rings, Rings of Power. Oh my God. You want to talk about taking money and burning it? Oh, and another thing. I found this out. The budget to She-Hulk. Oh, this is astonishing. What do you think they spent per episode to make She-Hulk?
I heard the budget total was $250 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you split that up over each episode, you're at about $30 million. Yeah. 30 to 50.
Yeah, so it's gonna actually it cost for each episode was $25 million.
That's disgusting.
$25 million. $25 million for that. Per episode. $25 million per episode.
And when you put that in perspective, most TV shows have a per episode budget of roughly like a very well-known TV show that's of similar style, even one that's not of similar style, but very close. Typical episode is roughly $1 million to $5 million, if that. After you've paid everyone.
No, yeah. I would say you could get a whole season for that price if you do it right. I have seen movies.
That's what the Arrowverse was working with per season, per show.
Yeah, I was working. Yeah, but they just want to turn a profit. That's the only thing. But I've worked on small budget shows. Like I worked on one movie, Shank and Dunk, and I believe the budget became doubled. Oh, it got ballooned, but still, that budget was only about. I'd say that budget was $6 million, and the movie wound up making about $40 million. Yep. That's a win. $6 million, you make $40 million. But you see, Disney, they have these little side things that they can do and make money off of, but they go all in. They're greedy. They're like, stop money in this. No. Do exactly what you keep doing. Keep doing these projects, these side projects that you're just spending $5, $6, $10 million a project for the whole project. That's everyone. Stars, actors, actresses, everyone in the unions, everyone. You all made money and you all profited. So Disney could do this. They make plenty of shows that make money, and movies that they don't cost anything for them to make, that they make money off of, It's just that they don't capitalize on this too much. They're too busy trying to change the world. They're too busy trying to change your little boys into girls or your little girls into boys.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been to Disney. I know you've been to Disney. Did you go to the dress shop and see all the men dressed in dresses? That's all I want to know. Were they around at the time you went?
No.
Did you see those dudes? Okay,
nope.
so
it was only women.
Well, this year, the videos have been hitting. So you went to the dress part, right? The princess part when they get
Yep.
the little girl, they give her a dress. You did that, okay?
Yep.
So now picture doing that, but
we didn't
the
do
fairy
it
godmother is a man with a.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like. But I'm saying, but they had women doing it then. Now it's fairy god. Specialist they call them, and it's men with mustaches.
That's creepy, actually. Like I don't want a grown man with a mustache dressing up my daughter.
Wait, I'm gonna send you the video. He has like an Adolf Hitler mustache.
So
I'm not even lying.
I want to end this on this note. I don't want to end it on
that's funny,
fairy godfather or anything.
Oh yeah.
All I can picture now is Al Pacino in a dress.
Let me come dress your little girl.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's.
If you would have wanted to know what you thought, I think you would have just laughed. Oh hell no, we're not doing this.
What the hell is this? But anyway,
your wife would be like, you would be like, oh no.
Prominent primetime show, Criminal Minds, was $3.5 million per episode.
Yes.
So that's roughly a $60 million budget for a season. The Flash, which we know had horrible CGI toward the end, was working with about $50 million per season toward the end for a 22 episode season.
Yeah.
Lois and Superman, who had 10 episodes less, was working with $95 million a season. Like,
wow, see,
I can't understand how you would give more money for the CGI for Superman, where all you guys show him is flying, which they were able to do pretty well in the 80s and 90s, than to the Flash, you have to like do speed running. Like, come on. But
it's all about money. All these people, everyone got their hands in the pot, and ideas come up, and more ideas come up, and
I honestly think that's what the problem is. Too many people getting paid way too much. There's no reason for a 6-episode series to need $25 million an episode. That's insanity.
Yeah. I mean, there's too many writers in the kitchen. That's why I always say there's too many writers, and it's just
and not the right writers either.
And people don't even care about making anything good at this point. They just want to be having their name credited to something that holds significant weight. Like the Marvels, like this lady, she don't care if this movie tanks or not. She just wanted to tie her name to a big franchise because now she got something under her belt. Not my fault it failed. It's not my fault. I just made the movie. It's not my fault it failed. You know? It's the writer's fault. You know, it's like a circle jerk of blame. Everybody could go around blaming everybody.
Yep.
When they fail. But when they succeed, everybody succeeds.
Yeah. I just looked up Nia DaCosta. She's done 3 full-length films. The first one made...
Candyman's one of them.
Yep, Candyman's one of them. That one made $77 million. So she beat her own record. And it wasn't even a record of how much money a black female director, the movie made. It was how much it made in an opening weekend. Which, obviously, for Candyman, where it's not a very prominent film, it made $20 million. Marvel's made about 50, I think, 35 to 50 opening weekend. So, and then she has Little Woods credited, and Little Woods made
not Candyman
$171,000 at the box office. So you're talking about an indie movie to a pretty indie movie to a massive blockbuster studio where everything they've made over the past 15 years has been 300 million or more. Like,
right, and it hasn't
you
been
were
turned
going
into
to break
profit
that
either.
record.
And it was, yeah.
Why are we sitting
And the
here
thing
saying
is
it's such a
that
big
they
deal?
were too worried of. They're so worried. They were more worried about getting the right cast in. Like, you know, let's get our diverse cast. So that's exactly what it's about. It's about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when you realize that what your business should be about is about entertaining the people who showed up to your movie, not the people you dream that will show up to your movie eventually. No. The people who show up to your movie, because this is a female-eccentric movie that no female showed up for. That's on you guys. We showed up, and you know what? We showed up only. I mean, me personally, I didn't care to watch it. More or less, it was more of a morbid curiosity. And I mean, like I said, the acting was not bad. It could have had a great story if you just would have took out the other two and left them completely out the movie and just made it about Carol Danvers. You may have had a chance. Because the Annihilator whole thing is what a great lean into, but the freaking villain you have is such a weak-ass bitch. You might as well just... I mean, come on, man. They gave him the weakest villain you can find with the Spaceball plot. Jesus, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for you people. Spoilers, you may have to put this in there. They sucked the atmosphere out of the freaking planet like they did in Spaceballs. Like in Spaceballs. I'm like, no. I was like, no, this is freaking Spaceballs. I'm gonna get out of here, man, if you're ready, because I'm getting mad at this whole thing. But yeah, it's all good to try different ideas, but remember one thing, people. Make the money first. I always tell some people, everybody's like, I don't want to sell out. No, sell out. Make the money first, because then when you make the money, guess what you could do with that money? You could put it into whatever the hell you want, like I did. That's what it's all about. So when you start making money, start worrying about politics, this whole entire business will pick up. But it's all good, though, because I'll be president and CEO of Marvel one day. So thank you, Marvel. And I'm going to be doing like some Black Friday sales coming up soon. I'll update you on my website. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm too tired. So
Small Business Saturday starting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And also, check it out, guys. Don't worry. We're going to have some more female characters taking over movies soon. This is not the end. This is going to be... every time we talk... Every time we talk, this keeps happening, right? It's funny, right? We talk about it. Something else will come up next week. Trust me, I know. So, everyone, good night. That was fun.
Real quick, put this into perspective. Incredible Hulk. If the Marvels makes $98 million more dollars, they will have tied the Incredible Hulk.
And guess what? They're not going to make $98 million more dollars. Good night, everyone. Peace.
Have a good one.
Love. I can't take this anymore. Take care, Chris. That was fun.
See ya.
Take care, my man.